Trent Frederick making his Oilers debut in La La Land. Oilers and Kings right here on the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're doing well out there. Tom Gazzola, Hernan, Salas inside the EST Global HQ studios on a lovely Saturday as we get set for some afternoon hockey. I love it. I love it this time of year, Hernan. Absolutely tremendous.
It's great, man.
Oh, let's go.
Now everybody can shut up about Trent Frederick. We're finally going to see him. It's exciting.
When is Frederick going to play? Today. Yes. All right.
Go.
Let's go. We're fired up. Hope you're fired up too. Get in the conversation. Text us 780-218-9999. Of course, if you're watching on YouTube, hit that thumbs up button. We appreciate it very much. iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, EdmontonSportsTalk.com's audio player. We appreciate you. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports. Right here.
Damn straight.
Damn straight. GCL Diesel, providers of the best diesel engine components around. From turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors, they are the critical engine component experts, proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years. Great to have them on board. And it's been a fun year. It's been a fun year. And now you can tell, like, it's just winding down. We've got 6-7 games left. Talk about the playoffs already. It's probably going to be the first round matchup. Some are worried about the Kings. Some are not worried about the Kings. It's going to be a lot of fun. Bring it on. That's it? You don't got anything?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's going to be great, man.
Okay.
It's the crunch time. We're worried about the injuries, Tommy, but like you said.
Yes, that's fair.
Like you walk outside today and you're like, oh, yeah, this is playoff hockey,
Sense
playoff
it.
weather.
Yes.
Let's go. It's going to be fun. Today's game is so massive for both teams. It's going to be great.
I'm looking forward to it very, very much. We have a special treat for you today. Dennis Bernstein, our LA Kings insider, makes his triumphant return to the program. We'll talk to him in about 10 minutes. Gives us the scoop on the Kings as usual. Then, in for Matt Cassian, the Reed Wilkins, filling in as our analyst, which is lovely with Game Changers.
It's going to be great.
Now, he has not sent me his talking points. I'm a little bit concerned.
I told him you need 3 game changers, but I forgot to tell him text Tommy.
Did he send them to you?
I'll do it right now. No.
Maybe he just surprises us. Whatever works. Whatever works. I'm cool with it. It's Saturday. It's early hockey. We're going to have fun. The weather's fantastic. People are in good spirits.
Great.
Oh, baby.
Ovi. Oh,
Ovi. Yes. Very, very cool to see him bow to Wayne.
yeah.
I thought that was a nice touch.
And I like that he didn't want the empty netter.
I respect that very much.
Reed says, "Oh, I will send them now."
That's our boy.
That was our bad because I did
whatever.
not tell him. That.
You set it up, and thank you for doing that. I appreciate it. The Oilers 44-26-5 taking on the 43-23-9 LA Kings. Both teams have won 3 straight going into this one. LA formidable at home, a tremendous 28-4-4 record. The Oilers pretty darn good on the road, 21-14-4. Kings 7-3 in their last 10. Oil 7-2-1 in their last 10. A collision course of destiny. Let's go. Let's go. Okay. Earlier, we had Hello Hockey. People were texting in. We were talking about the North Side. Stan Pater was texting about chirping Northsiders. I get it. That's funny. I'm from the North Side. Well done. All right. I just want to get that in there because Stan Pater texted it in after the show ended. We will get to starting lineups. We will hear from Chris Knoblauch. And we'll also get your question of the day. Do you have it already?
Yeah, it's very simple.
Okay. Let's hear it.
We've been waiting a long time to see Trent Frederick.
Yes, we have.
I want to know what the expectations are because, listen, the Oilers are without their 2 big guys. This guy's playing his first game in a while, Tom, with his new team.
Yes.
So I want to know what the expectations are for Trent Frederick in his first game.
That's a good question. let us know. 780-218-9999. Get to the nasty chat as well. I'm very open-minded about Trent Frederick.
Yeah.
Go bang some bodies, get settled in.
Again, I think, Tommy, you and I are going to take the approach. We're not going to get too high. We're not going to get too low on him because it's his first game.
Right.
Now, remember Max Jones' first game?
I do.
And everybody was going crazy.
Because he had a good game.
That he was the next one. So he could just do what he did. Go out there, like you said, crash and bang.
Yeah.
Muck it up.
Yep.
And I think points-wise, anything like that is just a bonus right now.
I think that's fair.
Okay.
I think that's very fair. I will say that. So Trent Frederick making his Oilers debut. We'll hear from Chris Knoblauch in a little bit. We'll get to Reed Wilkins. We'll get to Dennis Bernstein. We'll get to your texts as well. This text comes in out of Vancouver, actually. I'd love it if we keep Freddie and Kane. Let Skinner walk. Frederick, I'm assuming, is who Freddie is in this text. And Kane, Evander.
Let Jeff Skinner walk?
Let Skinner walk.
Well, he probably is.
I would think so.
Yeah. Arvidsson's a 2-year deal, right, Tom?
Yeah. Yes, it is. Cards texting in. What's up, Cards? Sitting in the Yorkdale Mall in Toronto at the moment, listening to the pregame. What's up with the start time today? Cards, yeah, it's afternoon hockey. There's already a game, ESPN on ABC, is Devils and Rangers. Devils were winning that one handily. I think it just ended 4-zip.
Big loss for the Rangers.
It is a big loss for the Rangers. They are toast.
Tostitos
indeed.
Jode says, so who's out for Frederick?
Well, let me tell you.
Well, yeah.
If I may. As we get to starting lineups. Brought to you, as always, by South Fort Chev. South Fort Chev, buy now, save, 0% financing, OAC up to 72 months, or save up to $8,000 on 2025 Silverado 1500s. It's that time of year for seasonal tire change service. Mention that EST sent you and receive an on-rim tire change for $59.95 plus tax. They're also giving a big discount on inspections when you get your tires changed. See dealer for details at www.southfortchev.com. Drive a little, save a lot at South Fort Chev. For the Oilers, here's how they skated yesterday. Obviously, the start time, early start in LA. No morning skate. Nugent Hopkins between Podkolzin and Arvidsson. Henrique between Frederick and Hyman. Janmark centering Skinner and Brown. Kapanen back at center with Jones and Perry. I did not see an emergency recall when we started the show. So I'm assuming that's how the lineup will be today. We will hear from Chris Knoblauch, like I mentioned earlier. Now, you were checking up on notes prior to the start of the show. Was there anything that was substantial there from Knoblauch that we heard that we should pass along?
Just that Frederick's in.
There you go.
Defense starts.
Pickard starts. No surprise there. Defense, Wallman with Bouchard. Nurse with Stetcher. Kulak with Emerson. Calvin Pickard is your starter tonight. As for the LA Kings, here's how they rolled out the other night. Kopitar between Kuzmenko and Kempe. Byfield with Fiala and Laferriere. Deneau between Fogle and Moore. Hellenius with Malott and Lewis. On defense, Mikey Anderson with Drew Doughty. Joel Edmondson with Vladislav Gavrikov. Jacob Moverare with Brant Clark. Between the pipes today for the LA Kings, you want to take a guess, Hernan?
Kemper.
Is
that right?
I'm just double checking. It's unconfirmed.
Oh, playing mind game.
Yes, he's 27, 10, and 7. 208 goals against average, 919 save percentage, 4 shutouts this year. Outstanding season for Darcy Kemper. Good. Pickard, 20 and 8, 264 goals against average, 901 save percentage, no shutouts. He did have one, but it was a team shutout, which doesn't count on his individual record. So there you go. Those are your starting lineups brought to you by South Fort Chev. Go say hi to Daniel and Claire. They're they're tremendous. Let's get to the Advantage Sports Medicine and Physiotherapy injury report. At Advantage Sports Medicine and Physiotherapy, we treat you like the pros. Our multidisciplinary team includes sports medicine physicians along with highly skilled physiotherapists, strength and conditioning coaches, and massage therapists. If you have a nagging pain you'd like to see go away, book your consultation today at www.advantagesportsmed.ca. For the Oilers, Matthias Ekholm, day-to-day maintenance. Leon Draisaitl, day-to-day, lower body. Stu Skinner, day-to-day, upper body. Connor McDavid, day-to-day, lower body. John Klingberg, day-to-day, undisclosed. Alec Regula, IR knee. Evander Kane, LTIR, abdominal surgery and knee surgery. But you can take one guy off that list, and that is Trent Frederick, who is returning to action. Finally, today, he's going to make his Oilers debut. As for the LA Kings, Alex Turcotte, day-to-day upper body. Tanner Jeannot, day-to-day undisclosed. That is your Advantage Sports Medicine and Physiotherapy injury report. You and I were talking, speaking of rosters and injuries and players, the Oilers signed the 2 Euros this week, and I went and watched that clip that you and Joaquin had. And we're talking about Tomasek and... what's the Szymanski? Yeah. And anyway, I have like a scouting report on Tomasek.
Okay. Go.
From someone in the NHL from a hockey ops department who has a line on him. Would you like to hear it?
Yeah.
Big time Euro scorer, obviously led the SHL. He's been looking for an NHL gig for the last couple of years. Didn't realize people weren't going to give him $2 schmil per. And he finally decided to come over. Oilers are going to provide him an opportunity. They sign him up. And then this is the comparison I got, Hernan. Roman Cervenka.
Who?
Roman Cervenka.
Who?
Roman Cervenka.
Okay. Oh, boy. So you're saying there's a chance?
If I may. Roman Cervenka is 39, born in the best year ever, 1985. Played 1 season in the NHL. Do you recall with whom?
Canadian team.
That's right. From Alberta.
Calgary.
That's right. 39 games, Hernan. 9 goals, 8 assists, 17 points, 14 PIMs, -13. Then he went back to Europe. Couple of years in the KHL, Czech League, Swiss for like 8-9 years, and then is playing in Pardubice, Czech again this year. That was the comparison I got from an NHL hockey ops department. Roman Cervenka is the Tomasek comparison. Now, were Oiler? I didn't check the nest. I didn't check social media. Were Oiler fans getting excited about him? This Tomasek?
Oh yeah,
they were.
Well, there's people like out there like, he's going to push. Sure. I mean,
that would be great.
I just, in like in that clip,
I hope so.
In that clip that we posted from ESC Afternoons, Gager posed a good question. How many Euros have worked out in the last 20 years for the Oilers?
I mean, you could say that in small doses they've been okay.
Sure.
But no one's really like made a big impact.
Oh, it's
right.
I don't know. I'm just not overly excited for a 29-year-old guy to come over here and people think he's going to play in the top 6. Like seriously on a cup contending team. Like seriously,
I'd rather see Matt Savoy get a regular shift.
Hell
in
yeah,
the top 9.
Hell yeah.
Just saying.
Give Savoy a look. He looked good in the games he played.
Yeah.
And you paid this guy what, 1 something?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. Tom.
Anyway, I thought that would be worth passing along. Also, the Oilers, speaking of signings, did just send out a press release. The Edmonton Oilers have signed a goalie. Nathaniel Day, entry-level contract. Day, 6'4", 205 pounds, 20 years old. Edmonton's 6th round selection, 184th overall in the 2023 draft. He played this year with the Flint Firebirds. 26, 25, 2-3 was his record. 307 goals against, average, .894 save percentage, 2 shutouts, and was named the Firebirds, MVP, leading all OHL goalies in games played with 59, minutes played 3,401, and faced the fourth most shots, 1,634, registered the seventh most wins at 26, and was named the OHL's goaltender of the week 3 times this past season. That is the news for the Oilers today, signing Nathaniel Day, their own draft pick, to an ELC. All right, keep those texts coming in. 780-218-9999. I see he's ready to go. Oh, he looks great. There's our boy, Dennis Bernstein. Oh, yeah, he's ready. Let's bring him in. Let's find out about the LA Kings, who we're going to be seeing a lot of in the next few weeks. DB from Crypto.com Arena. DB, do you have your reservations at the JW already?
It's the first of 9 games between these teams over the next month, right? I'll be up for the regular season game unless something happens where the Kings or the Oilers have clinched the seed for the 2 seed, which I don't think will happen. I'll be up for that game. And I've block booked the JW for an entire week because I'm not sure if we'll be starting in Edmonton or we start in LA, but it's going to go a long way today, the outcome of this game to determine that.
Dennis, it's Hernan here. When you're down here, Domi said drinks on him for everybody. So.
Okay, I hope so.
Okay.
I got my own credit card. It's all right, Hernan.
No, it's okay. My treat. You're in my town.
Okay.
All right.
Likewise. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. See, that's why you're the best, DB. Okay. Thanks, Hernan. Appreciate that. Collision course of destiny, 4th straight year. Yeah. These two teams, Pacific Division rivals. Victor Arvidsson is all of a sudden on a 3-game heater here. Warren Fogle, a career season. How different do you think these two teams are compared to last year, the year prior, and the ones before that?
Very different. Let's be real. The Oilers aren't the same team that went to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final. They aren't. They're not as good defensively. The goaltending isn't as good. Doesn't mean you can't win the series. I think, Tommy, of the 4, and this will be 4, of the 4 series that they've played, I think this Kings team has the best chance to beat the Oilers. They're tougher because they went and got Edmonton. They went and got Janot, who's out with an injury. Mm-hmm. They have this kid Malat, whose brother is a UFC fighter on the 4th line, and they have Samuel Lanius, who's 6'6" and 225 at the 4th seed. So if Evander does come back and tries that nonsense in the front of the net, it won't go over as well as it did last year. Because let's be real, not only did the Oilers beat them last year, they bullied them. And this team is not going to be bullied. And they have a guy who I think is going to be a Vezina finalist in Darcy Kemper, who will be way better than Cam Talbot. But it's going to come down to the same thing, what the special teams are going to do. But I expect a long series. But I think this is of all the 4, this has the best chance. This Kings team has the best chance of beating the Oilers.
I'm really looking forward to this series. I'm not going to lie to you. And there are no easy series, really, if you look at them in the Western Conference, DB. Are there any sleepers just looking outside of Edmonton and LA? Any sleeper picks in the West, or is it basically whoever gets hot at the right time?
I don't know if they're a sleeper anymore, but I'm not sure I'd want to win the Pacific right now if you're going to face St. Louis, Tommy.
Good point. Yep.
Because that team's on a heater. Now, here's the thing. There's still, I think, 6 or 7 games left. They're not going to win 17 games in a row, right? So they may regress here at the end, but that's a really tough team because of Bennington, who we saw in the 4 Nations. It's been hot as a pistol since coming out of the 4 Nations. They've got depth. They got Parenko back. And, one of the things that are undersold, I think the aggressiveness of Doug Armstrong as a GM, and you guys know, obviously, firsthand, taking 2 guys, but also going out and trading for Cam Fowler at $4 million and signing Ryan Suter, who's playing almost 20 minutes a night at league minimum salary. That would be the one sleeper team. In the East, I think it would be a great story if both Canadian teams, the Ottawa Senators and Montreal Canadiens, beat them. It's a big ask for either one of those teams to win. I'd slide edge to Ottawa maybe because if they do play Toronto, there'll be a little bit more grease in that. And Allmark's playing great. But I think the one sleeper of the wildcard teams is St. Louis. But when you win 11 in a row, you're not a sleeper anymore, right?
That's a good point. Very good point. Dennis Bernstein joining us from the 4th period as we get you set for the Oilers and the Kings right here on the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. All right, DB, we're in LA today. The Kings are 28-4-4 at home. It's absolutely tremendous what they've done there, seriously. But 15-9-5 on the road. Yeah. Why the discrepancy, in your opinion?
They can't score on the road. They don't get a lead on the road. And because of the way they play, and even though they've been scoring more over the last 4 to 6 weeks, Tom, they're a defensive first team. Mm-hmm. So if you go down 2-0 this team, it's tough on the road to come back. You don't get the matchups that they want. And I think they do get energy. It's cliche about, the home crowd. Everybody's got a home crowd. I don't have to talk to you about the Edmonton home crowd, which is amazing. I think they get juice from this crowd now. They're getting bigger crowds and bigger crowds as we get closer to the playoffs, and they just feel more confident team, and they have matchup. They can match up better. So I think that, and here's the thing, Tom, as much as you want to talk about 28-4-4, if you lose one game at home, then you don't have home ice advantage. So you have to run the table at home. I'm not sure the team is that good to run the table at home, so they're going to have to be better on the road. And you look at the game in Utah, they were lucky to win that game. I think they watched out 26-7 in the first two periods and got a really fortuitous goal by Kempe in front of the net when we thought the play was dead. So I think that they're going to have to find a way to play better on the road. And I think because of their style, because they can't really open it up when they go down a goal or two, they get a little bit more passive than as aggressive with their forecheck. But the one thing standing, I think, in their stead that would be good is that their penalty kill is way better this season, which may be a big factor when they play the Edmonton Oilers for real starting game 83.
DB, when the Kings do struggle or, when they have tough nights, what is generally the cause?
Not shooting the puck. Passing the puck, because they always play good defense. We joke in the press box a lot. Every time there's a 2-on-1, we turn to each other here in the press box and say, well, who's going to screw up this one? Who's going to not got shoot? Who's going to overpass? Who's not going to make the right play? It's because their defense starts, because they'll get shots on net, but there won't be great A opportunities. So that happens. They have not been poor defensively throughout. The goaltending's been solid, even when Reid goes in and he's clearly the number two. I think it's just the lack of offense. I think it's the lack of confidence sometimes. But I tell you what, this is a different offensive team with Andrei Kuzmenko in it. And I didn't think that was the big move they needed to make. But, Tom, it's turned into a big move for this team.
Yeah, why? Because he had a tough start with the Kings when he got sent over from Philly. And then why is he letting it up now, DB? What changed? Because it feels like it flipped the switch at some point.
Oh, look. Did Rantanen get comfortable in Carolina? No, he never got comfortable. It takes time, Tom. You want these guys to come in, and I think his mentality's changed a little bit too, Kuzmenko, because when I looked, I said, look, this team needs a shooter. They need a score at the trade deadline. So maybe a Brock Besser or a Palmieri, that would have been like the best move. I thought this was a secondary move. And I looked at Kuzmenko. He had 52 shots in 45 games. Now, maybe part of that's playing for John Tortorella, but he's starting to shoot the puck more. And just his shiftiness. There's only one shifty player on this team. It's Kevin Fiala, who's been fantastic the last 2 months. Now they get another threat who you have to account for on that line. Right? So when you play, a lesser guy on the line with Kopitar and Kempe, you don't have to account for him. This guy is so talented that you do have to account for him. I think it's just opened up the offense. It's got a lot more flow to the power play, which has been a lot better since the trade deadline. It's just given another skilled player who can open the offense, who finds players and who's fit well with those 2 Euros. I think it's a combination of them 2 Euros playing with a Russian that's also worked as well.
How about Warren Foegele? Tell me about his year, because I know we always kind of point out, we get texters and listeners and viewers always being like, Foegele scored again, and good for him. He's a great guy. I'm sure you've had a chance to sit down with him. What has he meant to this LA Kings team, and how has he asserted himself?
Tom, I think you're the one guy that wouldn't be jealous of Warren Foegele's hair.
He has great hair.
It's fantastic hair. He's fitting like a glove. I think it was Trevor Moore that said, if you would construct a player in the mold of what the Kings play, it would be Warren Foegele. And what have you seen from Warren Foegele? It's the same. A ton of even strength goals. He's not on the power play. He checks defensively. He's a smart guy. He's a good guy in the room. So all the things that you knew of when he was going good, and I get it, there was inconsistency in Edmonton. There's been no inconsistency. So when he even doesn't score, and they're not really counting him on to score, I think 20 is a great number for him, 20 to 25. But he does everything else right. He's a coach's dream, and he's fitting really, really well on what is really a shutdown line with Moore and Deneau.
He is missed here, that's for sure, and the appreciation for him has continued to grow, but he's LA's property now and having a very solid season. DB, let's take a wider scope and look at what happened yesterday. You've been covering this game for a long time. You know a lot of people. Ovechkin tying Wayne Gretzky's goal mark, and I think he's going to beat it tomorrow on Long Island. What'd you make of that? The salute, the bow, and all the accoutrement that came with him tying the record.
What a night, right? It's a record. And I know that Gretz scored his last goal, I think maybe 10 or 11. This record, when Gretz broke the record for Gordie Howe, it stood for 31 years. Mm-hmm. This is like Hank Aaron breaking Babe Ruth's record. This is something that should be celebrated. And the biggest takeaway for me, Tom, was the last 2 road games he played in Carolina and Boston. When he scored, it sounded like a Caps home game. Everybody's rooting for this guy.
Yeah.
Everyone. I think it's great that the commissioner's there, but I think it's extra special that Gretz is there. And Chris has been really great in the press conferences. He's been talking. And it's funny, last night, it felt like in that press conference when you watched it, that it felt like he set the record. And Wayne goes, oh, wait a minute. We're still tied. So there's a little sense of pride that Wayne still holds the record. Right. But I think it's great because I think it's eclipsed hockey. I think it's eclipsed sports. I think that, well, certainly in Washington, D.C., it's the number one story on probably on the news shows. It's been great the way he's embraced it, the way his team has embraced him. It's been a great, talking about growing the game. There's a kid growing up that might eventually break this record that's watching this. I don't think so because now you can talk about this being unbreakable. But there was a funny thing. In our Open to our Hot Stove show this morning, I played a video from 2016 with him when he sat down with Elliot Friedman. And he talked about it. He was at 600 goals. He says, and Ovi said, breaking that record's impossible. He goes, it's impossible? He goes, yes, it's impossible. So the fact that he's doing it now in the context of them possibly winning the East, maybe even winning a Stanley Cup.
Good point.
Because start of the year, you thought, okay, it's going to be an improved team, maybe 500, maybe wild card. But the fact they're doing it in the context of winning so much, it's been celebrated. It's been handled the right way. And I love the way the NHL has treated the great Chase. It's been fantastic for everyone, including myself and yourself guys in the media.
Wayne always has a sense of humor. In the summer, he said maybe I should come out of retirement to me and score a few more. And I was like, you're hilarious, Wayne. All right, now swing the club. Let's go. But
exactly.
Anyway, yeah, he's a great guy, and he always has a great sense of humor. Okay, let's hone it in with one more on this game this afternoon. DB, how much stock can we put into the result today, considering how many guys are out on the Edmonton side of things?
I think it's only important from a seeding standpoint. And I asked Jim Miller, I said, look, when you listed the lineup for the Oilers, there's four guys, Leon, Connor, Ekholm, Skinner, aren't playing. Do you have to remind your team to respect this team? He goes, we don't have to be reminded. They beat us. They beat us in the playoffs last year. So I think it's important. But, I was talking to Louis DeBrusk. I would suspect that all four guys are game one. The playoffs are going to be in. Right, so how much stock can you take in it? Not much with respect to the postseason, but it's an important game for seeding. And I think the LA Kings, so when you talked about their home ice advantage, really want this game and go out and try to win it to make it 4 points between them with 6 games left.
DB, you're the best. Enjoy the game. I look forward to talking to you very, very soon, and I can't wait till you rejoin us here at your home away from home.
Yeah, on your tab, calling to Hernan, so thank you for that. So, he's a great guy.
Hey, we haven't announced it yet, but we're going to be back in familiar territory. That's all I'm going to tell you, okay?
Great being on EST, guys. Thanks for the time. See you next week.
DB. There you go. Dennis Bernstein, the best. Our boy.
Yeah, I'm just going to get the Reed Wilkins.
Is the Reed Wilkins ready to go?
I just wanted to touch on that last point, and I'm glad you brought it up, Tom, because I think Coyote Steve's the one that put it in the nasty chat, like, statement game. The Oilers are going to get humbled in this one. They're going to put a sense of, what's the word I'm looking here? I agree with Dennis. I don't see it that way. Mm-hmm. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, both teams want to win this game. LA, it's not their fault the Oilers have a ton of injuries, right? It's not their fault. They're going to go out there and try to play their game, continue to try to get home ice advantage. So I understand that, but I don't think an Oiler loss tonight messes with their psyche. I don't. I don't think it's a statement game and LA now knows they can beat the Oilers. I just don't buy into that, Tom. Do you?
Nope. Too many guys out. Maybe that last game, depending on who's available for the Oilers. But today, no. That's how I look at it.
No, fair enough.
So, text us 780-218-9999.
We got Reed ready here.
Great. I know Reed. He's great. He's our analyst today. Get to the nasty chat as well as we roll on, getting you set for the Oilers and the Kings. Let's bring him on. Reed Wilkins, host of the Reed Wilkins Show. We are cutting into his vacation time. But no, we appreciate you, and it means a lot that you stepped up today. Thank you, Riedrich.
Well, I'm not really on vacation. I'm using vacation days.
You were forced into it.
Plus, I am used to and enjoy talking about the Edmonton Oilers, so it's not a bad way to spend this. I mean, I'm watching the game anyway, so it's not as if you're really disrupting much. But thank you for asking me to come on.
You're quite good. That's why we appreciate and love you. All right, Reed is our game analyst today in for Cass. Cass is a busy boy. Of course, Game Changers brought to you by Damon Bunting Real Estate. Damon Bunting, consistent top producing realtor in the greater Edmonton area for over 17 years. He's community driven and understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. So check him out, damonbunting.com, or visit his Instagram at Damon Bunting Real Estate. Reed, I like number 1, KISS. Keep it simple, stupid.
Yes. Well, that's one of the things, first things we're taught at writing news, right? Or writing sportscasts when we go to Nate. Keep it simple, stupid. Don't try to be too fancy or flowery. You can start doing that later on in your career.
Sure.
When you host a talk show. But I think this goes back to, this is nothing new, but I think it's something the Oilers have to do today, and maybe we'll need to be reminded of. I'm sure it's going to be a talking point in some way by head coach Chris Knoblauch. Keep this game simple. You don't have Connor McDavid, and now you don't have Leon Draisaitl. So you've lost the 2 most creative players on the team and 2 of the most creative players in the National Hockey League. And as we've seen over and over again, Tom, and this is a point I always make, as great as Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid are with the goals and the assists that we see, the one thing that they consistently do is when they get the puck, it's an automatic zone entry.
Yes.
When they get the puck, even behind their own net, you can assume it's going to be in the other team's end in 3 to 10 seconds. Mm-hmm. You know, Connor can often skate it in with his speed. They're good at passing, finding guys to get the puck over the zone. And as we've seen with Draisaitl, I mean, he can just carry 2 guys on his back and take the puck in down the wall and then spin and start the offense from there. So this has to be a straight line game. I think this has to be, I'm not saying never try a pass or try to make a good offensive play. I mean, there's still a lot of good players with good instincts, but if you don't have something certain at the blue line, it has to go in deep, and it has to start a forecheck from there. And I think even inside their own end as well. I mean, no fancy breakout passes, no risks through the middle. It's got to be up the boards. It's got to be chipped out. It's got to be 5 guys back defending the home plate area in front of the net. I mean, I'm saying very fundamental things that 6-year-olds or whenever kids are old enough to understand sort of tactical positioning hockey. Mm-hmm. I'm saying all those things, but it's going to be extra important for the Oilers to do those things tonight. And as Dennis was just saying, the Kings defend, right? So the Oilers have to match that. This might... Getting to 3 might be enough to win this game. Getting to 2 might be enough to win this game if the Oilers can commit to a very responsible and simple style. Like if I know the Kings have a lot of good players,
yes,
but they're not as razzly dazzly perhaps as the 2 guys the Oilers have out of the lineup. So we know how the Kings have played since they were Stanley Cup teams. They pound away at you, and they get to the front of the net and they make life difficult. So the Oilers have to be very sturdy and very responsible in moving the puck from one zone to the next.
That is point number 1 on Game Changers with Reed Wilkins. Keep it simple, stupid. Number 2, Frederick, pick it up.
Okay, I think we got to remember here, Tom, that we are in pretty much uncharted territory for Calvin Pickard.
Good point.
He is starting his 5th consecutive game. He didn't finish the game in Seattle. He's starting his 5th consecutive game. He appeared in the game prior to that against Dallas, granted for only about half a period. Mm-hmm. This is, I want to put this out there for context. Calvin Pickard had 4 NHL seasons in which he didn't start 5 NHL games. And then he had other seasons when he wasn't even in the NHL starting games.
True. So,
this is pretty much, you'd have to go back to that season in Colorado when he was on one of the worst teams of the last 20 years, 16, 17, when he was playing this much and was kind of, for now, he's the number 1 guy until Stuart Skinner gets back. So now it has been encouraging for Pickard because when he made those back-to-back starts earlier, when he was good against Carolina and then started against Anaheim, he didn't have a good game against Anaheim. But all his starts have been good in this run. But now he's going to be asked to do it again. And as I was saying, he's going to be asked to do it against a team that can, play hard and get to the front of the net. And he's going to have to possibly do it against the goaltender at the other end, who really rarely gets scored on. If you look at the type of the season that Kemper is having. Now, we know about Pickard is I certainly wouldn't. I'd be surprised if anybody would doubt, his battle level, just the intensity, whatever you want to call it. He's, I think he's a very popular teammate. I think his energy and his passion, rubs off on his teammates, which is good. So I don't doubt any of that. We've seen his playing style. Yeah, sure. Sometimes he might make an unconventional save. It either goes in or it doesn't, really. As a goaltender, if it doesn't go in, you've done your job. But I think that this is going to have to be a very good performance by Pickard tonight once again. And we'll see if he can keep rolling with it.
Arrow up, as Tom Rennie used to say. All right, it is Game Changers with Reed Wilkins. Point 1, keep it simple, stupid. Point 2, pick it up. And point number 3, finally, fantastic Frederick.
By the way, do you remember when Tom, was it when Rennie was the coach? I think it was. And the Oilers were terrible, right? And it was late in the season. And they certainly were. They beat a good team. It wasn't one of those times they beat Chicago, because I don't even know if he was the coach for those. But they beat some lousy team. They beat some really good team, and I can't remember the exact timing, but let's say it was around this time of year, 7 to 10 games left. They're obviously not even going to win 30 or 25 games or whatever they wound up with. And Gene asked Tom, well, Tom, you beat this really good team. How does this give you some momentum for the final couple weeks of the season? How you feeling about this? And I remember Tom Rennie goes, woohoo, Gene, hooray for us. Do you remember that?
I was probably in that scrum.
I don't know. You're probably, it was in that old dressing room we used to do the podium stuff. It was something like that where Rennie, I understand why Gene would ask that, but Rennie was just kind of like, okay, we've seen the standings, we're not turning it around here because we beat the team that was 3rd overall or whatever. Anyway.
Yeah, he didn't really beat around the bush by the end. He was like, this is not good. Anyway, I remember that.
Yeah, I remember he would say arrow up. All right. What was my third one? Fantastic Frederick.
Yeah, that's right.
Will he be fantastic? How's he going to look after not playing for a while? I do think he can make a difference. I always wonder how much difference an individual player can make in his first game back when we haven't seen him, when he hasn't played for a while. I think my hope for him is, and I really think that Stan Bowman summed it up well on the day that they acquired Frederick, where he said, we have a lot of forwards who are the same type of player. Mm-hmm. So that's the thing here from Frederick. Of course, you want goals and assists and some points along the way, but can he be a disruptive, maybe even a little nasty type of player? I think he's just take points out of it for a second. I know that's important, but if you take points out of it, Frederick is more like, hopefully, maybe more like a Corey Perry, than a Connor Brown or even an Adam Henrique, who both have roles and are good players. But Perry, as we've seen, even at his age, I would think the other team knows when he's on the ice. Because it's okay, fair point. Maybe he's not quick enough to slam me into the glass anymore, but is he going to hit me late? Is he going to poke at my goalie? Is he looking to get back at me for something I did in 2019? I think Perry still carries that sort of gravitas with him on the ice.
Yes. And
I think Frederick, hopefully he can be one of those players that when he's on the ice, the LA Kings or the future opponents are like, okay, is this guy going to take a run at me? Is he going to play to the echo of the whistle when my goalie covers the puck and poke at the pad or the glove? All these things that we get mad at for players doing against the Oilers. We kind of want Frederick to do that against the other team. So then I think that's what they're looking for with this acquisition. Okay, Perry's on one line, Frederick's on another line, and then maybe there's that for the opponent. Okay, the Frederick line is on the ice. Maybe we don't have to worry about a stretch pass or a fancy drop pass like we do with Leon or Connor, but we have to worry about this guy being in our faces and trying to muck it up or goad us into a penalty or things like that. So I hope that's what he brings. I think it is an element that the Oilers could use a little more of, especially into the playoffs. So we'll see if he can give that this afternoon.
I love it. That is Game Changers with Reed Wilkins. Keep it simple, stupid. Pick it up. And fantastic Frederick. Let's get the Latino heat in here. Nanso, what do you got for Reed today?
Steve Reed. How was the birthday bender?
It was more of a straight line, but thank you for asking.
Oh, Reed. Great game changers. But I guess we were talking about Trent Frederick, and I think Tommy and I both said, well, I'm speaking for Tom here, but
Sure, go for it.
we're not going to get too high or too low on Trent Frederick. It's been a while since he's played, Reed. Like, to expect him to go out there and listen, I know he's probably going to go out there and he's going to want to get physical, get into the game and all that. But like for you, what's a good game for Frederick?
I would say, well, it's a really good game if he gets a point.
Yeah.
Obviously. Mm-hmm. I would say a good guy. I mean, he's listed starting on the second line.
Yep.
But maybe he plays 13 minutes. Maybe he gets up to, I don't even know if he'll get up to 15. I would say low teens in minutes. I would say, 3 or 4 hits. I would say getting involved in a scrum or two and agitating, being noticeable in those types of ways. I would think that would be a good game of Frederick, where hopefully after the game we're saying, okay, he did this. Hopefully he established that as a baseline, and then he gets back to the tempo and the puck touches and being back in NHL games and builds from there.
First game for Frederick since February 25th against Toronto, played 5-18 in that game. 8 goals, 7 assists this season. His point production has taken a dip, playing on a bad Boston team. Simple as that. They're not very good. They've obviously traded a lot of pieces off and have gotten worse. But Frederick looking to reignite his season a little bit here with the Edmonton Oilers. It is the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. Gazzola, Wilkins, Salas with you. Text us 780-218-9999. Get to the nasty chat as well. We were talking with DB as well. Like, how much stock do you put into this game? Like, if the Oilers lose, do you think we're going to see angry fans if they lose? If they win, pleasant surprise, I think it's fair to say. But how do you look at this game as a whole, Reed?
It's the most important game of the season until tomorrow morning.
Okay.
So I put a lot of stock in it for the next 3 hours, and then we'll slowly move on from it. I know I've brought this up a few times, but I think it's relevant, and I think it's relevant because it is recent history. I'm not going back to something the Oilers did in 1984, like when I was not joking about them losing all 5 games on the road trip earlier this season and referencing the 11-0 game in Hartford, which has really nothing to do with this group, except Paul Coffey being part of both.
Yes.
But I think it was last April 3rd, they lost 5-0 in Dallas and really got outclassed. And I thought, that's it. Like, they can't win the cup. Like, they'll probably beat LA in the first round, and then they just can't tough it out. They can't figure it out against these better teams. And then obviously, they didn't just beat LA, they beat Vancouver and Dallas. So I think that, I think there'll be a little bit more in it for both teams because of the history and knowing about the impending first round matchup, very likely first round matchup. So there may be a little bit in it. Okay, maybe I can remind this guy that I don't like him, or maybe there's a little slash that bruises, he's still feeling when the playoffs start. But if either team wins, I wouldn't then say, oh, well, they're the favorite. They're the favorite now. That's it. They're the favorite. I think LA should be the favorite in this game because of the 2 lineups and the players the Oilers are missing. I guess I'll try to be a little bit optimistic from an Oilers perspective that maybe if they win today, that might mean a little more to them, because then all those guys in the locker room can say, hey, we didn't just beat, San Jose without Connor and without Leon for about half the game. We beat the LA Kings, and maybe in a play, like, we don't know how healthy or how good Ekholm or Connor or Leon are going to feel in the playoffs. Like, hopefully they're all back and near 100%. But maybe it helps, it's a game 4 and it's tied, and one of these players thinks, okay, I can be the hero. I did it on April 4th. I can step up and make a play against these guys. But even that is probably a small percentage. Like it's, I think this is a fun matchup for now. We're going to get another one. What is it in 9 days?
Yep.
At Rogers Place. But after this game, the winner to me, I guess it'll help the winner because they'll have the inside edge on home ice advantage in the first round. More so LA. I mean, Edmonton would still have some work to do, right? But I guess that'll be the biggest input. But I don't think I doubt in 3 hours we'll be sitting here saying like, well, that's it. The team A can't beat Team B in the postseason.
Go ahead, Hernan, say it.
No, and just because a lot of people in the Nats chat, like if LA wins, like they're gonna feel like they finally got over that hump, and I don't see it that way, Reed. LA obviously wants to win the game, so do the Oilers, but I don't think for the psyche of either team, it's big, right? Like LA knows they don't have Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, and Matthias Ekholm. I mean, they're gonna, and again, it's not their fault. They're playing the team that's in front of them.
Yep.
But I don't think this does anything to the Oilers if they lose or win, or to the Kings either way, right, Reed? Like, I don't think this game is like, oh, now we're gonna get them in the playoffs, you know?
Yeah, I don't think LA is going to say, well, now we got them until they beat them in a playoff series. Yeah. Really. I think LA, look, if the Oilers beat LA today, the LA Kings are still going to think to themselves, well, it's fine. We know this is the best, as Dennis was saying, and we've talked about it on Edmonton Sports Talk. The LA Kings know this is the best team they've had in 4 years. Mm-hmm. They know this is their best shot. So if they lose today, I mean, we know how pro athletes sell themselves with the confidence. They're gonna say, we didn't do this well. I screwed this up. This guy made a stupid play. We're fine. Like and you gotta, like, they're all. I remember. I can't remember if it was Mac T or one of the guys on the team. Like when the Oilers played San Jose in the second round in 2006. Remember they lost the first 2 games in San Jose.
Yes,
and it was a lot of like, okay, it was fun beating Detroit. Now we've run in, a lot of the fans and media were thinking, well, now we've run into a better team. Like we had our fun upsetting Detroit. And so I can't remember who told the story, but somebody said after they lost game 2 in San Jose, the feeling was like, okay, we know what we have to do. Like we didn't play to our game. We gave them too much space. We respected them too much. We know what we have to do. And then of course the Oilers won the next 4 games in the series. So I don't think that if LA loses, it's going to destroy their confidence in believing that they can beat the Oilers. I think they totally believe it anyway. I think they know that they got a really good team.
Hell yeah, they do. And they've been playing some really good hockey. Both teams riding high, 3-game winning streaks coming into this one. LA 7-3 in the last 10. Edmonton 7-2-1, 2-0 on this 4-game road trip. Frederick, I look forward to catching up with you on the post-game show.
Thank you for having me, Tom and Hernan.
There you go. There's Game Changers with Reed Wilkins in for Matt Cassian today. Great stuff as always from our buddy Wilkie. I love it. That's
People
awesome.
were stoked he was on.
Good. I mean, they miss him. We miss him. Yeah, forced into vacation days. Matthew's such a stickler. HR daddy, you take those vacation days. Okay. I guess so.
I like how Dusty was like, yeah, like we can't force people to take vacation.
And we
it was
did.
too funny. Everybody needs some
Dems
rest.
the rules, as we like to say.
He's going to come in hot on Monday, Reed.
He's going to be great. He's going to be great. Shout out to Jay Milne, by the way, doing an excellent job getting his reps in as the host. And Owanek and him had a good thing going. The banter yesterday was a little picante, I'll say.
Yeah, what was it about again? About Knoblauch's comments about Leon Draisaitl? Like
they were getting into it about that.
Yeah, it's not long term, but we don't have a date.
We can't like with Knoblauch, whether it's a deliberate smoke screen, pardon me, or whatever he's doing. Like it's just like I can't believe him because it goes back to the Arvidsson injury. It's like he'll be okay by the weekend, and then he missed 15 games.
Yeah.
So anyway,
that's a good point.
Yeah, thank you. This one from Seaside Slug via the inbox. I like the name, Seaside Slug. As usual, I hear a lot of noise coming from LA, but come playoffs, I don't fear their bite. Nicely done, Seaside Slug. We do have a couple of minutes. Do you want to play some Chris Knoblauch?
Yeah, let's go.
He did just speak not too long ago, so here's a little bit of an update from Chris Knoblauch.
And if he will be playing for your group tonight.
Trent is playing tonight.
Awesome. Can you maybe talk about that complexion of that line that he was on yesterday with Henrik and Hyman and why you chose to put him in?
Yeah, just obviously we think he's a pretty good player. We added him. We think that he'll give us a lot in the future. And also for a guy that hasn't played for a while, finding his game, I think playing with Hyman and Henrik should be able to, gain his confidence and give us something. But I think that line being the players that are on that line, they're going to be playing significant minutes, and Frederick will be a part of that. Now, his minutes won't be incredible a lot, just with his special teams, power play, penalty kill, that stuff. But 5-on-5 will be among the higher guys on our team today.
Good. He told us yesterday he kind of lobbied you for this start. Did you cave in under the pressure?
Well, it wasn't me who was caving. It was the medical staff, and I don't know how many times TD was asked from Stan, Jeff, myself, Bill, Trent, everyone asking him numerous times. And finally, we were able to get him into the game today.
Chris, I just want to ask you about Quinton Byfield and how he changes the complexion of that LA Kings team with that breakout.
He's a very fast player, a very strong player, having a good, successful year, very similar to last year, but, a player that we have to stay on top of. He can score many different ways, whether it's just crashing the net or off the rush with his speed, so, somebody that we have to keep an eye on.
What makes this LA team difficult to play against?
Well, I think definitely their defensive ability. Kemper's obviously playing a tremendous season this year, but in front of them, they don't give up many chances. So they're very disciplined with their systems, and you have to be patient and not force things.
Tony had some good video of you with Trent yesterday at the whiteboard, and then afterwards I saw Mark Stewart talking to him and Glenn Gulletson. Is the defensive zone more work or more teaching than maybe the offensive zone when you've got a player who's new?
I think with any player in the offensive zone, it's more on feel, more on playing on instincts. Defensive systems, whether it's your forecheck or your defensive zone coverage, is more on systems and reading off each other. I think and for coaches, the defensive side of it is always more important. There's more teaching in that aspect, so there are definitely some details that we're going over there.
There's head coach Chris Knoblauch getting set for the LA Kings this afternoon from Crypto.com Arena. We got a couple minutes left. Text us 780-218-9999. Get into the nasty chat as well. Anything you want to highlight from Knoblauch, or pretty straightforward?
Yeah, it was pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Box Pounder says he's keeping his expectations low for Frederick, so he's expecting a Gordie Howe hat trick.
Oh, very modest. Well done, Box Pounder. Here's your lineup for the Oilers this afternoon. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins between Vasily Podkolzin and Victor Arvidsson. Arvidsson 3-game goal-scoring streak. Very nice. Adam Henrique with Trent Frederick making his debut. First game for him since February 25th. Zach Hyman on the right side of that line. Janmark back at center between Skinner and Brown. Kapanen making his return to center between Jones and Perry. On defense for Edmonton today, Wallman with Bouchard, Nurse with Stetcher, Kulak paired up with Emberson. Calvin Pickard is your starter in goal. Fifth straight start for Pickard. Or is it fifth straight game? Fifth straight start. Start, yep. Zach Dooley providing us with an updated Kings lineup. You've got Kopitar between Kuzmenko and Kempe. Danault with Fogle and Moore. Byfield between Fiala and Laferriere. And then Hellenius with Malott and Lewis. On defense for the Kings, Anderson with Doughty. Gavrikov with Spence. Edmondson with Clark. Darcy Kemper between the pipes for the Kings. They are absolutely tremendous on home ice. 28-4-4. The Oilers will like to put a dent in that record. Edmonton, meanwhile, or on the road, I should say, 21-14-2 is the record. Pretty good. overall. Home record is for the Oilers is 23-12-3, so not LA Kings-esque, but pretty damn respectable. And then the road record's good. LA's road record, Hernan, bad. 15-19-5.
It's fascinating what's
That is
going on with this
fascinating.
team.
Well, you heard DB saying they don't shoot.
Like, it's
Sounds
weird.
familiar.
When you're reading out those forward lines for the Kings, that's a good squad, man.
It is a good squad.
And I agree with DB. Like, this is the best team they've had in the last 4 years.
Mm-hmm. And they don't play the 1-3-1.
No, so
Get rid of that crap.
it's gonna be
Should be good.
a tough game for the Oil. But you said it last couple days ago. This is a veteran team. No excuses. Yes, you're missing the big dogs, but doesn't mean you can't win and play a solid game.
That's true. Twitter Mary sends one in. Twitter Mary says, if Nuge can come up with one of those games where he threads some of those razzle-dazzle passes to his line mates, we could see a few amazing and needed goals. He has had some razzle-dazzle passes lately. And then
Been good.
Mary also added, I was going to say a glissando pass from Nuge, but I thought that might be too frilly for your show. Hey, Twitter Mary, you can do whatever you want. We appreciate you. You know that. Glissando. Did I say that right? I think I've ever seen that word. French writer and poet Edward Glissant. And let's look up glissando.
Glissando.
It is a continuous, seamless glide or slide between two or more notes, often used to create a smooth, flowing musical effect.
Word of the day.
Word
like
of
Reed
the
Wilkins
day.
show.
Twitter Mary. Hello.
Oh.
Fantastic. Big thank you to Dennis Bernstein. He's our boy for hopping on. He's great. We'll see and hear a lot more of DB. Apparently, I'm buying all the drinks, according to Hernan. You better be there.
Oh, I will.
You better have the cigarettes.
I'll have the darts. You're in charge of
I
the
just
beer.
want one in my ear for the look.
Yes.
For the look. Big thank you to Reed Wilkins in for Matt Cassian. Reed will be back on the post-game show. Nancito, great work. You and I are going to enjoy this game. Maybe have a snack or two. And hopefully we're talking about an Oilers victory on the post-game show. Shout out to everybody who listened on iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, UpToSportsTalk.com's audio player. You know we love you. And to everybody who watched on YouTube, hit that thumbs up button. We'll see you on the post-game show. Ciao for now.